There we go. And then I can back up a little, maybe. Okay. Um, hey, so the movie for October 11th was another rewatch for me. It was The Monkey. There we go. Yeah, October 11th, The Monkey. So another rewatch, and I've kind of prefaced before that this month is gonna be more of a rewatch month. Some new stuff mixed in, but um, when something's good, I like to revisit it, or not even good necessarily, but something that kind of sticks with you. I think it's good to revisit just to kind of solidify your ideas. I mean, especially after if you like watch other things. I mean, returning to stuff, you come back with a new insight. Um, and I mean, this one, not necessarily anything different that I thought watching it again, but I think I just enjoyed it more. I thought it was a lot more fun now that I kind of knew like which direction it was going in. I remember initially too, I was like really excited for this one. This is one of those ones where like the camera keeps moving. No, this is one of those movies where I mean, again, like I try not to like watch a lot of stuff, so like trailers or anything like that to kind of like influence my like decision making with stuff. The only thing with movies specifically that catches my eyes now is the director. So if I'm familiar with them, then usually I'll go watch just because like it's a new project from them, and I like their voice or way of directing. Sometimes the writer kind of depends, but yeah, writer as well, and that kind of is what pushes me more to go like see something like either in theaters or just like waiting for it to like kind of come out to like buy or anything. Yeah, so this is one where initially I heard like, okay, another new movie from Oz Perkins, and the only thing that kind of twigged me onto him was Long Legs, right? 2024, I believe, and then The Monkey came out this year, if I'm not mistaken, 2025. But yeah, I saw Long Legs. Like again, that was one that was like kind of weird. Like I had never heard of Oz Perkins before, but I um, I just saw like some of the promotional stuff, and I mean, again, like with the internet age, or even just with like going to the theater in general, you can try your best to stay away from spoilers, but you'll just see things sometimes. And Long Legs was something that I was seeing advertised on Twitter for a little while. Um, and then of course I saw like Nicolas Cage behind it, and I was like, okay, okay, okay. I like Nicolas Cage, and the promotional stuff for this movie like was genuinely really interesting. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So went to the theater on my own to go watch it, and that was a good experience because Long Legs, it's like a little slow paced, but it's very dark in terms of lighting, I guess. So the entire time you're just like in this like dark theater, watching this like this story unfold, and it is like a very tense like thriller more so with like minor horror elements. But that movie's really good. I like that one a lot. Um, but point being, it just made me really interested in Oz Perkins as a director, just like kind of his vision and like how he does things. So whenever I heard The Monkey was coming out and I heard he was attached to it, I was really excited. Uh, so I mean, again, like didn't watch any trailers or nothing, just kind of went in like trying to go blind. But what, this is based off a Stephen King short story. Um, you take your inspirations. Uh, but overall, this movie is really good. There's always something weird with like I guess like Stephen King adaptations where, and I mean, I'm sure it's just the way he writes things, but like sometimes they're like just a little wacky, and it's kind of hard to tell like what it is that he wrote specifically or what it is that they kind of changed to like fit the story a bit better. Because there's a few like really like goofy lines of dialogue or like kind of like sillier moments in the movie, but it all sort of works in a weird way. To me personally, I feel like that's kind of a problem with horror sometimes, where like the horror elements are just like a little too either extreme or I guess exaggerated, for lack of better words. Um, Either like with the kills and stuff in this, because the kills in this one are like just genuinely like some of them are like really bizarre, and some of them are just like so over the top. It's kind of crazy to see, but to me like it's in a fun way. It's never played like super seriously. Um, and then I guess like with some of the writing stuff, because I guess with the time period and like with the way that certain characters talk, like there's a like scene like super early on with the brothers, and like they're arguing about the monkey, and the older brother is like teasing the younger one, but the thing he says that's really funny that gets me is he says what is it like shut up or I'll eat your placenta, bitch. You know, it's just like like super like dumb, over the top, but I think it's really funny. And then afterwards he's like trying to like I guess like pawn the monkey off to the younger brother, and he's like say say I want to suck its banana, like just like stupid shit like that, just like really teasing him. But I guess it kind of fits in the time period, like the way you would tease somebody, right? um, yeah, but small stuff like that I think is really funny. And just I guess like deaths that are just like so crazy. I mean, obviously the ones that stick in my mind are oh, yeah, spoilers by the way, but the ones that stick in my mind specifically, there's like a small handful. um, the lady in the pool, that one is just like so crazy over the top. But again, it's just like something you've never seen before, so it grabs you, or it grabs me at least. Yeah, that one's just insane. She jumps in the electrified pool, and she just yeah, so that one's crazy. A small funny one is whenever the store manager, like the main character, he works in a store, but his like store manager is like a guy younger than him, and he's like trying to buy like a vape or something like that from like a vending machine. And whenever he turns around, there's like a rake on the floor, and he does like the cartoon thing where like you step on the rake and it like hits you in the face, but it like knocks the jewel, or like knocks the pin in his throat. Uh, and that one's just like kind of funny, goofy. Um, and then one more is the realtor with the shotgun. Whenever they're going to check the closet at the aunt's house, and the shotgun falls over, and it just blows her away. That is genuinely insane to see. And there's a few other ones here and there, but um, and then again, I guess just like the over the top nature, kind of, I guess because while this movie's really entertaining, I kind of find it hard to like find like a theme, or because usually like stories, like there's themes, or lesson learned sort of thing. And while I don't think there's necessarily like a lesson learned in this, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm missing it. I feel like I'm missing it, or I'm missing something at least. But I do think it's just kind of like a commentary on how like random and like instantaneous death can be sometimes, or just how like the way death works. Um, it's unpredictable, I guess. That's kind of the only thing I can really pick apart on this. Uh, and I mean, I guess like when you think about it, the monkey like is like a metaphor for that, right? Because like once it activates, it kills somebody like at random, and you can't stop death, and you can't stop how like horrific it might be, but like it happens all the same. But I mean, again, like tell me if I'm completely wrong on that. Like I've said before, like for the most part, unless it's like really just like itching my brain, I won't go out of my way to like do research on stuff like that. I kind of just like to keep it to myself, or evolve the ideas like with rewatches, and like see if I can pick it apart before I end up doing the research. Um, but I mean, yeah, again, like this one, like to me, is just like pure enjoyment. Um, I just find it like entertaining all the way through. Um, and then I guess like the only small thing I guess as well, like going back to the death stuff, and it's weird. My brother is the one that picked up on it with the pale horse, and I was trying my hardest to remember where that came from. And then on the rewatch, I actually picked it up more properly, because again, like I've thought about it for a little while, and I finally connected. Like, oh, the pale horse is talking about that Johnny Cash song, right? The man comes around. Because he has like the lyric, you know, and I heard as it were, and on top of it, or heard as it were like a pale horse, and on his and like his rider's name was Death, something around those lines. But it's funny because the main character, he has like he's basically quoting the song at one point, at the very beginning, whenever he's like telling his manager that he needs like some time off work, uh, and he's like, "Oh yeah, me, like I'm like a real troublemaker," and he just quotes the song, and obviously, like since it's a younger guy, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Um, yeah, so I finally connected that aspect of it. So that's the reason why I do think it is just some kind of commentary on death, somewhere in there. Uh, Maybe I haven't like picked it apart specifically. Maybe I just like grabbed it, but I haven't like fully grasped it. Um, but anyways, again, like obvious recommendation from me. I think if you just like kind of over the top horror stuff, then you'll enjoy this one. The camera. You know what? I'll just do that for the rest because we're almost done. And then also just like really well shot movie. Again, like long legs, right? Lots of like symmetry, lots of just like good lighting. So I mean, like shout out to his creative team that's with him as well, right? And then I guess good on him on being able to orchestrate it all. So I guess just very excited for whatever else like Oz Perkins does in the future. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, and maybe also too if y'all do like horror stuff. I mean, the two things I've seen from him so far are like horror oriented, but I'm pretty sure he could make just like a good thriller. On like the lines of like a Zodiac or something like that. Because I mean that's basically what Long Legs is when you think about it, just a bit more horrific at times. Um, but yeah, so that was the October 11th movie, The Monkey. Um, Take care.